How many of you guys have heard of Compton? Heard of Compton? Compton was once a suburb, but due to what we just saw, it's called redlining. Redlining is when they just remove industry and remove resources out of one community and place it in another, and then that community that it was removed from becomes a ghetto. So Compton was once a suburb. Also in the Bronx, we have Bronx is Burning. For some of us who are old enough to remember that. That is an example of redlining. Also, the stress hormone that they were talking about, that is from a primitive time where we either had to fight or flight. All right, so that is a quick burst of adrenaline. It's something that we use, like if a saber-toothed tiger, if we were, cavemen, and the saber-toothed tiger jumped out, we either have to run from it or fight it. More than likely you fight it if you were blocked and you couldn't run. Well, if you're in a constant, the body doesn't know the difference between then and now. So if you're in a constant predicament where your stress hormone is kicking in and your body starts pumping adrenaline on a regular basis, that can lead to heart disease. So that is what the lady was describing when she was talking about the family, that he was stressed out by the son, stressed out that he couldn't find work, stressed out that he couldn't move his family out of an environment that was no longer good for them. And that is my time, so I want you guys to think of that as we move on to the next phase.
I'd like to add something to that. It was sort of touched on in the video. It was mentioned that because folks aren't working, there's a tax dollars being reinvested in this community. I think it's a little bit more serious than that. What it really boils down to is me being as an elected official, serving for the last 2.5, 3 years at this point. When there's a will, there's a way, right? So when government fails to meet its obligation to fund community schools, fund infrastructure and roads, fund community-based programs, there's a pretty massive knocking effect, and then government policy. You saw that when you mentioned the Bronx is burning, right in the middle of the crack epidemic in the Bronx and inner cities in the state. The government's response was the war on drugs, right? I'm pretty sure there's a couple of folks who remember when President Nixon talked about the scourge of drugs, and then President Reagan and Nancy Reagan said, just say no, right? So the government's response is just anybody who buys or deals or is accustomed to using drugs, we just throw them away, lock the key, throw them away, throw away the key, and forget about them. They're not our problem. But now, in the current modern context, these issues are happening in more affluent, where they didn't see response and an investment of protection of public health policies and resources. So there is a component of sort of racist government policies that have existed that lead to even more degradation of these communities. And you saw this you mentioned Compton back in the 90s when the riots happened. Here when the Bronx was burning, the government forgot about our communities. And now, I believe, now that these are affecting other more affluent communities, government's paying more attention to these issues, which they should have been doing it for the last 45 years.
Yeah.